And we're back. Thank you so much for coming with me on this very wild ride. Nicolas Ghesquière of Louis Vuitton presented the closing show of Paris Fashion Week, making it the final stop on tour for everyone in the fashion world. He presented at La Samaritan, an Art Deco department store that's architecture has made it a Paris landmark. For the show, Louis Vuitton incorporated cutting-edge technology to make the viewing experience as curated as if one were there. Let's just say Zoom has nothing on Louis Vuitton.
You know, thinking back to early March, your show was sort of like the last show before the pandemic hit. I mean, when you think back to that moment, what comes up for you?
The last Louis Vuitton show in March, we were on a mission. We were thinking the show was going to be cancelled. It was really hard to make this collection and to have people work so hard and knowing that the risk was there. It's a beautiful feeling because having 200 people singing in a room, having this audience, knowing the world was in a situation that was starting to be critical, it's a mixed emotion. We had this very intense experience, thinking this show was going to be epic because of the scenography. But again, the drama wasn't in the room with the show. The drama was the pandemic growing and the situation of the world. Of course, we were also very sensitive to the fact that it was probably the last show before this crisis. Yeah.
So, excuse me 1 second, my doorbell is ringing.
Of course.
Sorry, guys.
We can hear New York in the background.
Yeah. That's just nice about the Zoom. It's more relaxed than. No problem. When the government announced that we were going to be confined at home, I went to a house I have not far away from Paris that I don't have as much time to enjoy that I want, and so I was able to spend time there and to work from there. I had more time. I was more focused. Obviously, designing in the nature for hours, listening to music, watching movies. The time just slowed down, and I took this opportunity to draw more, even, and that was great. So it's more than when I came back to the office that the process was different. Elaborating the collection virtually by Zoom with the team and learn how to work differently with mask, distance. It was a new discipline for me. Of course, the condition that we are facing are making us, think differently about the way we are showing. This season is going to be very new in every way. The show is going to happen in the Samaritan, which is a very Art Deco iconic building in the center of Paris. It was a department store 20 years ago, and LVMH bought it and did an incredible restoration for the last 15 years. Of course, I jumped into the opportunity to show there. The guests that are invited at home did receive a personal invitation. They will have a seat number and they will be physically seated in between different editors and different guests that have the chance to be physically in Paris this time. That is a 360 camera that our guests will be able to manipulate, to move from their phones or computer at home. They will be able to follow the girl, to feel the room, to feel the music, and to see what's going on, and hopefully to catch a certain emotion that is going on in the room at that moment. The different models in the show will be interested into this crazy images from Wim Wenders, from the movie The Wings of Desire. It's a very classic movie technique. It's the green screen. So the way we will put emotion with it, with the clothes, with the fashion, is what is going to be something that I hope will be an experience for the audience. My question this season was about this zone between femininity and masculinity. Non-binary people that are taking a lot of freedom dressing themselves as they want and not declaring themselves with any gender. This community is giving a lot of freedom to all of us. There is a distortion in the shape of clothes. Classic, generic clothes almost. It's like you just extend, like push one fabric. I mean, it will sound maybe a little strange, but the in between the leg of the trousers has been stretched. And I love that idea because it's something that, again, opens it to many types of bodies, in fact. The opposite genders, obviously, and almost the opposite people can wear it in their ways. I'm kind of fascinated by the evolution of technology, how much it will simplify communications between us, or sometimes putting distances between us. And for me, it's important to show, physically also. I'm very glad that we are still able to have a small audience in Paris these days, because I know that for many people around the world, it's not the case. My ambition for the coming years is people, to be able to see each other again, simply. It is strange to be afraid of someone else, even someone you love. So my first wish is to be able to be, not afraid of seeing people and being, of course, with the one you love. Personally, for my work, I will stand for creativity. This fear shouldn't take too much room in our mind of creative. Things are going on and we are moving on.
The world will always need creativity. To see interesting ideas, to see creativity and pure creativity, especially in these times. And I think that is what everybody is really wanting. I'm smiling under the mask. Now I'm not. I mean, this season, just like everyone, I think everybody had to figure out how to present the ideas to the world. And we're here in LA because I got very interested in the 1932 Olympics. And 1932, the Olympics were held here in Los Angeles. We'll be shooting at the LA Coliseum where the Olympics took place. And you'll see that in the reference to the collection as well. You'll see the reference of the 20s and 30s in regards to silhouette and in regards to sensibility. But it referencing 1932, I wanted to make sure that people didn't feel like it was a retro reference. I wanted to push it into the future 200 years and create a world. And that's what I love doing within the collections and with all the experiences. I like to create something that people haven't heard of before, haven't seen before. There's a pure design sensibility. There's very strong in regards to staying true to being an individual, strength in tailoring for both men and women, neither masculine nor feminine. The lines are definitely blurred, but for me, it's not something that is a trend. I never follow trends, so it's an idea that I've been playing with for a long time. But in the last couple of seasons, playing with it even stronger and pushing the ideas even further, because I think it is something that is interesting for people to understand and to accept. I really felt for all the athletes that actually could not compete in Tokyo. And for me, that Olympic or sports reference was where this collection started. Sports in general, for me, are always an inspiration and something that I reference a lot within my collections. I grew up swimming and I grew up in a family that we all participated in a sport and we took them very seriously. So sports is something very personal to me. I mean, this is when I was swimming.
Did you do national competitions and all of that?
Yeah.
Which one did you do?
I was 200 IM, 400 IM, the 1500. Those were my events. What is special about the film is the use of actual Olympic athletes. Kendall, Race, and Steele are Olympic athletes that can inspire all of us here, and to feature true Olympic athletes was very important to the authenticity of the film. And also, too, I think it's just inspirational for all of us to be around Olympic athletes.
Ready, and action!
Well, it would have been very easy to stay in New York and just shoot, the collection in a studio. For me, it was a nice way to be able to come out to LA and work with Carissa and, do a really special piece. And I think she's, a really special director. And I think it was a really nice way of being able to show people this collection. And also, too, it being in LA, it felt, why not do what LA does best? Create a film. Why don't we go more towards the center, and then this person there when he reaches the center.
Well, Thom was really lovely to collaborate with because he has a really strong vision, but he also seems like he enjoys the process of how his vision evolves. Sometimes the most beautiful moments are the ones that you couldn't plan, and you have to be malleable. And that only works if everyone's feeling that way, and everyone was these past few days.
We're all so excited to be here.
What interested me about the project was fashion. How could you not want in? Thom Browne, you think that's chic. I want to be chic. I want to be a Thom Browne boy. I got to set and I said, Thom, how funny can I go? You want me to be funny? And he said, not too funny. So if it's not funny, that would be on Thom. Every day I learn more about Thom Browne, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. There's some real substance there. There's thoughts, and there's art, and there's vision. There's a story there.
Thank you so much, you guys. You were so good. So good.
I had so much fun.
Within the collection, and I think even just the overall sensibility, you see a real message of hope. I think in 2132, I hope that we live in a world that is very open to everything. And I think that is something that you'll see within the film.
I want to say something about how honored I am to be taking on the role of creative director of Givenchy. It's been my lifelong dream to be in this position, and it's really surreal that it's finally here. I've worked every day for 15 years, towards a single goal. And at the same time, it's bittersweet because we're living in unprecedented times in the world. And I just hope in some way I can create positive change for our industry and for the world. And I'd like to use this platform to do so. I have just such a deep love for clothing and creating. That's what I really love to do. And it's an enormous honor for me to be the first American to design at the House of Givenchy. Growing up in California was amazing. Great food, great people, sun. It's very a American movie or something like that. Skateboarding or surfing, it was ingrained in the DNA of the area where I grew up in, so everybody wore surf and skate clothes to school since elementary school. Looking back now, I realize how unique of a place it was to grow up, One of my soccer coaches had a brand. When I understood what he was creating and saw the clothes he was making, I was like, this is so cool. I want to learn how to do that. My parents didn't support me dropping out of school to do fashion. They wanted me to stay in college, so they were like, you're on your own. But I wanted to do fashion so bad, and My soccer coach, he let me sleep at the studio where he had his brand. So I'd sleep with all the rolls of fabric and the pattern table. And I'd wake up in the morning and I'd cut samples for him and then drive the fabric around downtown in East LA and Boyle Heights. After I did a summer internship with him, I just decided that's all I wanted to do. And I just went towards that.
So is this the Givenchy suit?
Yes, this is my first suit. The atelier made it for me. It's so sweet. We call it the boxy fit. So it's a little bit more relaxed. And I just think it's easy. Something you can wear, you know. Fashion in general is really like a collaboration. We're collaborating with a photographer when we shoot the lookbook or a hair and makeup artist. For me, my education was really costume design and collaborating with designers and photographers through the musicians that I worked for. I'm just really thankful for Kanye and Gaga to give me the opportunity to travel the world with them and be in dialogue with creatives from all different mediums and just absorb. The world's changed so much and I've changed as a creative over time, but there'll always be really important friendships that I've had in my life. When I think about Givenchy, an elegance and sophistication, monochromatic color palette come to mind. A really strong connection, obviously, to Paris, and it's such a historical house. Hubert's connection to Hollywood and Audrey Hepburn, and this elegance and class that has always been really exuded in his work and the brand's history. And then in recent years, all the amazing designers that were at the helm of the house before, like John Galliano, Alexander McQueen, Riccardo Tisci, they're all super inspirational figures in my development as a designer and a creative. They've definitely left an imprint on how I understand, view, and think about creating fashion.
She'll walk into the chapel as Meghan Markle.
They all did their own thing. I think that's also really freeing to just interpret the codes of the house in my own way. And that's really what I did, you know, with this first collection. Because of the COVID situation, we've decided to present the collection in the form of a lookbook because I really wanted it to be about the product. I wanted to really have that be the focus. Craftsmanship for me is one of the most beautiful things about making clothing, that love and care that's put into garments, and couture is like the highest level of that. What I've been able to learn and explore by spending time with the atelier here is just unbelievable. You know, you can only do this stuff here in Paris. I want to make clothing that has emotion and soul and feel like it's been touched by the human hand, not that it's been spit out by a machine or a computer or something like that. I want these pieces to feel like they were worked and loved. I came to the conclusion that I wanted something really versatile, something that you could wear casually or formal, something that had ease to it. So maybe because I didn't have formal training and I come from a place that most fashion designers don't come from, I look at things and approach things in a unique way. And maybe I don't have the same technical and traditional background as a lot of designers, but what I'm really drawn to is like the emotion that those pieces have in them. And so I can't really work in any other way besides that. I'm taking it day by day, but I think being here is such a dream, and now I just want to kind of continue to do this for as long as I can.
Fashion Month may be over, but Good Morning Vogue is not. Come back next week to hear what Vogue editors and yours truly thought of everything we saw.